vipers. Do you think they would come back? Do you think they would enjoy that? A brood of vipers literally means children of snakes. And in the Bible, a snake or serpent is a sign of evil or Satan. Remember in the Garden of Eden, it was the serpent that tempted Eve to eat of the apple. And then thus came the fall of mankind, the disobedience and sin. Now, no offense to you snake lovers. We had a little snake at the blessing of the animals at the way, didn't we? Cute little snake. I didn't pet it. Did you pray over it? Did you lay hands on it? I did. Okay. Well, its name was Christian, the snake. So, both John and Jesus use this term, brood of vipers, sons of Satan. Basically, they are calling the people children of Satan. John uses it to address the entire crowd, like he doesn't differentiate between any particular group there. Jesus primarily uses it in the Gospels to blast the Pharisees for their hypocrisy. For they followed their rituals, they worshiped in the temple, but they neglected the most important commandment. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, with all your strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. Jesus blasted them for their hypocrisy. John uses brood of vipers for the crowds, which includes the religious, the Jews who say, we have Abraham as our ancestor, but also there today in the crowds are the Gentiles, the non-religious. The soldiers, who would have been Romans, who are not held to the same standards for, my goodness, they don't know the law of God. They're Gentiles. They're not Jews. The tax collectors, some of whom may have been Jews who, like Zacchaeus, were corrupt tax collectors, or some may have been Roman tax collectors. And John calls all of them brood of vipers. Of course, the religious, the Jews want to say, we have Abraham, we have good religious genes, we have Abraham as our ancestors. Our grandfather built this church. I've been a member here since I was a baby. My children were baptized here. I was raised here. We have Abraham as our ancestor. We're good, upstanding Jews. But John puts everyone in the same boat. The religious people aren't any better than the ones whom they condemned, the ones whom they judged. The Samaritan woman who shared a cup of water with Jesus at the well. The woman caught in adultery. Zacchaeus the tax collector, the lepers who were deemed sinners because sickness was a sign of sin. John puts all of them in the same boat. You see, it's not so easy to categorize people, the churched and the unchurched, the saint and the sinner, the religious and the not religious, the good people and the bad people. We're, of course, in the good people category, right? Right? I hope so, right? We're all in the same boat, for Paul says all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. We're all in the same boat, sinking in sin. That's why we need the coming of the Messiah. If we don't know the depth of our need, then the joy of Christmas morning has less meaning for us. And if we are constantly looking at those we deem to be the sinners or the ones that we judge, then we perhaps forget we too are in that boat. James Truslow Adams said, "There is so much good in the worst of us, and so much bad in the best of us, that it hardly behooves any of us to judge the rest of us." There is so much good in the worst of us, and so much bad in the best of us, that it hardly behooves any of us to find fault with the rest of us. So we're all brood of vipers. Not a very nice word, but we are. And Advent is a time to take inventory of our lives, to repent and to ask, what then should we do? It's a unique question that each person must ask.